Hey guys, Kenny here. Stay cool and relax to the movies. Bye.
Hey guys, it's Kenny here. Since I reviewed Freddy vs. Jason, the movie itself already now, and I went over the Friday the 13th Jason Voorhees side, and in this side I wanted to go over and talk about the A Nightmare on Elm Street Freddy Krueger side, which most would agree that is the best part of this as far as being written and portrayal. So I agree. I like that a lot. I am glad that Robert Englund was able to reprise his role of Freddy Krueger. It would have been great to see Kane Hodder as Jason Voorhees, but I I'd have really liked Robert Englund in this. This is the second best humorous Freddy Krueger next to A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 Dream Warriors, because there are times when uh, Jason Voorhees cut certain body parts of Freddy Krueger off, and then uh, Freddy Krueger does some kind of a movement, and then those body parts come back. And he has some great lines in this that to toy with his victims and Jason Voorhees. I love those moments, and he mainly has two kills. Is the what was it? One of the guys who escapes from the mental hospital. He kills him by frying his back, and that nightmare scene with him is great because he is traumatized with the character who plays his brother was killed, and um, a majority of that a majority of that scene takes place in the bathroom, the nightmare, and then that guy sees his brother in the bathtub, and it's a very disturbing and gruesome scene. And then the a great moment when Freddy Krueger has this blood go onto the floor, and then some, I guess, blood, little worm things or tendrils connect to that guy's feet, and then you could see how painful that was for him. And then he's that guy is standing in this corner of the bathroom, and his brother is out of the somewhat brother. Freddy Krueger is out of the bathtub, and his some of part of his skin is bubbling, and that guy sitting on the floor is trying to fend off that and try not to believe, and because he says he will not bring anyone else into the nightmare. And that kill scene I greatly enjoy. That was an incredible one. And what else? I know there was he mainly has two kills in this, and they're good. It could have been better, like, but I still greatly enjoy those kills. The other kill was when he what was it? He kind of kills that stoner guy by becoming this weird worm thing, and then he goes into that guy's mouth, and then he takes over his body, and that was a good one. I like that a lot, and the um the then the that moment when Jason puts that hayrack bale pick thing through the girl, and then Jason sees that. I mean, Freddy sees that. You can certainly see how pissed off, angry and pissed off it makes him. His face uh, deforms into this demonic looking thing. His face becomes redder and his teeth grow more. And you can see how angry and pissed off that made him. And then the moment with this girl who really likes plastic surgery. Somehow she falls asleep at some point, and she looks through this magazine of at the plastic surgery place, and it was either that or yeah, it was that, and she flips through it and gets to the more into the book, that magazine, and then she sees these bloody images start appearing, which most likely are not, which are not there, and then she sees an image of a face, and then it pops out to Freddy Krueger's hand, and then he grabs her nose, and then makes the front of it come off. That was eerie. I love the moment when the moments when the others have a dream, like the main girl. She falls asleep twice. Once in the police station, and then when she wakes up, no one is in the police station, and she walks through and then starts seeing this blood dripping to the floor out of nowhere, and she gets outside to seeing the Springwood house, and that is the famous red and white house. She does not go in, but she turns her head, and then Freddy gets right up to her face and makes her scream out loud. That I really liked. And then when there was that, and there was the second when she goes into the nightmare of Jason Voorhees, and she sees that it was Freddy Krueger the whole time who was tormenting him, and she sees that this guy who she soon sees as Freddy Krueger doing this girl, and it kills her to death by doing that. And I like that dream sequence a lot, and everything in this with Freddy Krueger side is amazing. I love the fight between Jason Voorhees and Freddy Krueger. They both have some very good and creative ways of trying to one-up each other with how creative they can be with killing one or the other. Especially Freddy Krueger, he tries to make these air canister things fire off and hit Jason Voorhees, but none of them do except one last thing, and then they fight at this some kind of a metal factory thing, and their fight there is a lot of fun, where Freddy tries to make this cart of some kind of a metal slide down, but then it stops. And then as Freddy is kicking at it, he makes something break, and then this thing that goes around in the air, it catches onto him, and then he is going around in the air, swinging around. That is actually good, really funny. But before that, I think I really like this moment where Freddy Krueger is he pushes down these pipe things or long stick things and impales Jason Voorhees with many of them. Those are great, and as I said in the nightmare scene, I love how when Jason Voorhees cuts off two body parts, he cuts off two of both Freddy Krueger's arms, and then he does some kind of a movement, and then his arms appear back. And then I love this moment where Freddy Krueger catches on to Jason Voorhees, and he uses his mind and knocks him around like a pinball. That is a great image, and really funny too, actually. Then Freddy Krueger slices something that has water in it, and that comes down. And then that is when Freddy Krueger suddenly discovers that Jason Voorhees has a fear of water, and he uses that to his advantage. And then by doing that, he makes Jason Voorhees revert back to a baby or child again. It becomes a baby in this, and I can certainly see why that kind of thing is not so very well done, but I like the moments where Freddy Krueger taunts him in that nightmare scene with the two of them, and what was it? He does this thing with his hand after his arms appear back, after Jason Voorhees cut off both of his arms, and that was great. And then when they're both brought back out of the nightmare, their fight in the real world is amazing. When Jason Voorhees runs part of half of Freddy Krueger's body through these windows in the cabin. It was some kind of a cabin or some kind of a workshop. It was either half his body or he runs his head through that, and it's really quick. Yeah, I love that moment. And the fight at the pier is amazing and very bloody too, because what was it? Jason Voorhees cuts off an arm of Freddy Krueger, and this time it is permanently off. And Freddy Krueger, he puts two of the knife things into Jason Voorhees' eyes, and then he has no eyes. That is a great scene and a great moment. So then it's funny when I think it was when Freddy Krueger, I think he comes out of the water at some point, or walks up very slowly. Yeah, he comes out of the water, and then he is walking very slowly, and you think it is Jason Voorhees, but then you see the green and red, then you know that it is Freddy Krueger, not Jason Voorhees. And Freddy is holding Jason's big machete knife, and when he is almost about to kill the girl, the main girl, and and then Jason Voorhees puts Freddy's own arm through his own body. That was great. I really did like that moment. So I loved how Freddy Krueger in this was portrayed. Everything in this is great. There was nothing bad that I can think of for that part. And in this side, I thought that was fantastic. It was one of my favorite parts about this. I did like Jason Voorhees too, but I certainly understand why most really pretty much everyone who has seen this and is a fan of both of them really like how Freddy Krueger is in this the most. And some I've heard say that this is their favorite way that Freddy Krueger has been portrayed and written in any of those films, and I like him a lot in this too. Click subscribe up here on my channel or down here if you're watching the video by itself. Yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. So, stay cool and roll out to the movies. Bye.